Alright, you guys, we're out on the lake and we spotted a small flock of ptarmigan that are sitting on this point, and I just checked with binoculars. That means this is my lifer.
I'm Shayna Cossette and you're watching Shayna Cossette Birding. After my eventful fall season of finding rare birds up here in Stony Rapids, I began to look into what other birds I might possibly be able to find to add to my life list, and right away the rock ptarmigan jumped out at me. There have only been 7 confirmed records of rock ptarmigan in Saskatchewan, and so I started planning a trip to the most likely place to go see them, which is Uranium City. That is home of Ebird's only rock ptarmigan observation in Saskatchewan from 1979. But imagine my surprise when my partner came home from a snowmobile trip and said he had found rock ptarmigan only 30 kilometers from our house, and he did have some cell phone pictures to prove it. There are no roads that go to the area where these birds are hanging out, and it was about an hour-and-a-half snowmobile ride to get there. So a couple days later, we loaded up the snowmobiles and headed out to see if I could find my lifer rock ptarmigan.
Alright, you guys, we're out on the lake and we spotted a small flock of ptarmigan that are sitting on this point, and I just checked with binoculars and at least one of them for sure is a rock ptarmigan, which that means this is my lifer. So I brought my camera with me in the Pelican pack, so I'm gonna get it out and try to get some really good footage. But yes, lifer! Oh, this is so exciting.
Rock ptarmigan are a true Arctic or tundra grouse, preferring open tundra and bare rocky habitat with no trees. Their non-breeding winter range does extend into the northern boreal shield and just barely enters the northwestern Saskatchewan. Rock ptarmigan are not an at-risk species, but they are vastly underreported because the majority of the area they inhabit is unoccupied by humans. The traditional knowledge of the Dene and Inuit peoples are probably a much more comprehensive picture of what the status and range and population of rock ptarmigan are. And so that is the reason why my partner and I have the first documented records of rock ptarmigan in northern Saskatchewan since 1979, which is about 46 years of no recorded data. In addition, our observations occur outside of the known wintering range for rock ptarmigan. So continuing to submit sightings, aka citizen science and data collection, will be really important to get a better understanding of these birds' actual range in Saskatchewan.
This is so awesome, you guys. I'm told that they're very flighty and that they don't stick around very much, so I'm only like inching closer really, really slowly. I would like to get a really good shot of the males because they have that very distinctive black eyeliner like I'm about to have with my melting mascara. But this is so awesome. There is currently 6 of them that I can tell so far. I'm gonna keep looking. There might be more in the bush, but this is so fantastic. Lifer rock ptarmigan.
Now, you might be looking at some of these video clips and think, didn't you just film these birds in your previous video, the one where they were hopping? Rock ptarmigan are closely related to and look extremely similar to willow ptarmigan, which is typically a more southern species of ptarmigan. Female rock and willow ptarmigan in their winter plumage are almost impossible to tell apart in the field. The only describable difference between females of both species in wintering plumage is that the female rock ptarmigan's beak is slightly smaller, and that can be pretty subjective and hard to determine unless the two are sitting side by side. I honestly don't think I would be able to tell the difference between the two in the field, so let's use the typically more flashy males to figure it out. Both male and willow winter plumage ptarmigan are an all-white grouse with feathered feet, a black bill, black tail feathers, and a sometimes visible red patch above the eye called a comb. But the male rock ptarmigan have what I like to call a thick, bold winged liner, or they have black feathering that connects from their bill past their eye. And this makes a black stripe on their face and no visible white space between the eye and bill. Willow ptarmigan do not have this black eye stripe and have clear separation between the eye and the bill. I had an incredible time filming and photographing these rock ptarmigan. They were surprisingly comfortable with my presence and showed relaxed behaviors such as preening, eating snow, foraging, and even vocalizing, although my camera was not quite able to pick it up due to the wind noise. One of the males even became quite curious and came over to check me out doing a head bobbing behavior. And while I don't know what this behavior is communicating, it sure is cute. One of my favorite sayings is that the difference between a hobbyist and a scientist is that the scientist writes it down and shares it, which is why birding in remote and undersurveyed areas and recording even the most common birds is actually really important. Even the smallest observations can help contribute to our understanding of species range, and if you're able to consistently bird the same area over a long period, multiple seasons, or even over a year, it can help form an understanding of which birds are there and at what times. This kind of data usually leads biologists to start asking why questions, and that is exactly how research starts. So if you don't already keep a birding journal or have a free Ebird account, consider starting one and helping scientists by contributing to citizen science. And who knows, you might just find the first observation of a bird in 45 years. If I can do it, you can do it too. With that, happy birding, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future birding adventures.